Hey everybody, we just got new cards announced for the Crimson Curse expansion that's going to be coming out on the 28th of March this month. And it's really exciting. I'm very hyped after having a look at the new cards that have been revealed, the teaser trailer and all that. I did earlier on stream look at the cards and share some thoughts on them. So that's what I've got for you today. Little bit of a video. I'll be talking to chat in there as well. So yeah, feel free to subscribe if you like more videos as always. Stay hyped for this expansion. I'm really excited for it. I hope you are as well. Anyway, enjoy and have a good one, guys. Okay, so he's 2 for 7. Shield, Quen. I'm seeing Quen in the chat. Should wait for more cards, maybe. I mean, we can't really say how good everything will be, really, until we have all of the cards. But we can say, you know, this looks cool, or whatever. And Shield, basically, guys, for you people who weren't playing Gwent, when Quen was a thing, Quen was a mechanic where if you had it on a unit, similarly to in the Witcher, you know, games, if it got damaged, it wouldn't take damage. So the first time it got damaged, it would just not, it would cancel that out. So presumably that's what Shield is. That's what people are saying. And every allied turn on turn end boosts this unit by 2 if it has a shield. Oh boy. So what does that mean, guys? That means that there are probably cards that give shield, right? There's going to be more. Shield archetype incoming, baby. And then you can shield your engines, maybe? Maybe a card like, similar to Avalak, gives your dudes shield or something. Pretty cool card. So this is a 4 for 7 effectively, because when you play it, it immediately will get the boost, right? So that's pretty cool. And you need to get 2 turns worth of shield on this for it to be good. Pretty awesome, right? Because your opponent then has to choose, do they damage and waste the damage, or do they not? And yeah, might be okay, who knows. Basically quite vulnerable to like 1 damage pings, but very good if the opponent's only stacking those big chunky damages, right? Because if they have to waste 3 damage to kill the shield, like they maybe would in the current Gwent, where everyone's running like only stuff like that, they could also lock. That's true. That is true. But it's like an engine that's not vulnerable to removal in the same way that other engines are, because of that shield mechanic. So I think that's pretty cool. That's actually, I think that might be quite powerful, guys. That's like Anna, basically. It's like an Anna, but it works with shield. So depends how many shield mechanics there are, but it's just so hard to remove it, right? Because it's gonna survive when you try to kill it with a damage, and then you can shield it up again and it gets boosted. I think that'd be quite good. Obviously, who knows what's going to be going on, but seems powerful actually. Hopefully there'll be a lot of shield giving cards in Northern Realms then, and maybe in the neutral cards as well. There are only 14 cards for each faction coming out, so I mean it's quite a lot of cards. But yeah, maybe if there's only 2 shield giving cards in that, then it won't be enough. Who knows? Why is an Attribute NR? I don't know the lore. But okay, pretty cool card. I like it. It's a very seems like a good strong engine that has some pretty cool gameplay pattern associated with it. Yeah, so block the first instance of damage, allowing key characters to shine like never before. Next up, we got Dryad Ranger, 2 for 5. Okay, that's pretty mediocre, but it has Harmony. And what is Harmony? Inflict deadly poison to your foes through small quantities can be tolerated. A second dose would surely destroy your foe. Though not for everyone, some seek to bring harmony to the world and get boosted by one the first time a new Scoia'tael race joins the battlefield. Oh boys, you know what that means? We're getting gnomes! Haha! Maybe. Don't quote me on that. But probably more, you know, multi-race Scoia'tael cards, right? That's pretty epic. Gnome expansion, let's go. That's all I wanted. That's all I've ever wanted in Gwent. Absolutely fantastic. So that's a pretty cool mechanic. So it's like Thrive, but it's working when you play a different unit. So effectively, so this is what, a Dryad? And what other races are there in Scoia'tael? You have elves, you have humans, you have... You could even play a Witcher. Does that count as a race? I guess it... Oh, it's Scoia'tael. So human, elf, dwarf, gnome. So in theory this can get to 6 from that, right? If you're playing all those different categories of units. They have beast as well, actually. That's true. Dragon. Oh, baby. Okay. This might be pretty hilariously funny and strong. Playing all the non-racist Scoia'tael deck. Hallelujah. Anti-racism. Engine that can grow and poison. Yeah, I haven't even talked about the poison. So damage an enemy unit by 2. Oh my god! Whoa! It's a 4 for 5, okay guys? It's a 4 for 5 with harmony. And if the unit that you damage survives, you give it poison, which means you double up on the poison and then it will kill a unit. That's pretty strong. So if you have another unit that gives poison, you pop pop, big unit dies. Seems pretty good. 4 for 5 with like a kind of a thrive effect, and poisons a guy, letting you destroy it later on. So looks pretty cool, and hopefully that means there are gnomes coming. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but I'm gonna say that it means there are gnomes. I really hope there are more gnomes. Very cool. Okay, that seems quite powerful. I want to see how many more poison giving cards there are. I like that mechanic. That seems very cool. A little bit of yeah, new mechanic, another new keyword, and harmony as well is gonna be cool. Really awesome news, guys. Like, seeing keywords that are new is such a great thing for the game, because it's gonna mean there's gonna be more faction identity. Like Scoia'tael, we're already seeing, okay, they're going to be the guys that are poisoning the enemies, and they're going to work together as a band of, you know, ragtag different races. I mean, maybe that's lore friendly or not, who knows. But we're seeing a little bit of faction identity coming, right? The same probably with Northern Realms. They're going to be the guys that have shields and, you know, can keep their engines alive. Really looking quite like a good sign, I think. So that's very cool. And yeah, the keywords seem very nice so far. Like poison, I like that effect a lot. That's going to be very interesting to play around with. You're going to be able to know that your guy's about to be killed and play around it a little bit, and might be quite powerful, might not be too strong, but probably going to be good. So what do we got next? Plumard, 3 for 4. So, you know, one of your basic cards. This card's insane, guys. This is an insane card. This is a bronze. This guy's a gold. This is a bronze. It's worth noting you can have 2 of these, and they're only 5. They're 4 for 5 with extra bonuses. I think this card's quite powerful. I mean, not over the top, but I think that'll be very good. Maybe not. Anyway, what have we got here? So we've got another mechanic, bleeding. Well, why destroy your enemies when you can... Thanks for the sub, Pexas. Appreciate that. So, you can slowly bleed them over time, causing them to lose power every turn. So I assume it will be you lose 1 strength every turn. Very cool, nice mechanic. Adding mechanics into Gwent feels amazing, man. I assume it'll be 1 damage. Maybe you can have effects that increase the damage that bleeding does. And some monsters coordinate together, bonding in battle to create greater effects, such as deeper wounds that bleed longer. Well, there it is. Apparently I'm psychic or something, I don't know. Or they're just coming up with good ideas that make sense and are intuitive and great. So give an enemy bleeding for 4 turns instead. Interesting. So basically this is a I assume it will trigger at the end of turn, maybe at the end of the opponent's turn. But this is like a 4 for 4, which is effectively a 5 for 4 because you get it for 2 turns. And if you have another guy, you know, which has this bonded tag, then it's going to be a 7 for 4. That seems kind of quite powerful, to be honest. Of course, you have to hit a 4 strength unit, and it happens gradually, and maybe you'll be able to deny the bleed effect in some ways. I imagine healing of some kind would probably stop the bleed, or like boosting, yeah. I imagine there's going to be, or like resetting a unit will probably cancel bleeding outright. So probably there'll be ways to play around this, but looks very, very good. It also depends whether bleeding happens at the start of the enemy's turn, or the end of their turn, or end of your turn. If you don't get the point straight away on the bleed here, and if it's vulnerable to being cleansed in some way, then, you know, it might not be amazing. Maybe it will be, who knows. Definitely if this goes off a 7 for 4, that's just insanely good. That's like better than most bronzes for 4 ever get to, right? Even the most popular ones right now. So pretty cool. This mechanic seems very nice as well. And if there's another layer of interactivity with bleeding and boosting or healing or whatever it might be, that's really good news, I think. It's always nice when there's another layer on top of damaging and boosting and engines and whatnot. If you can have more complexity and depth and decision making, that's really going to be great. Cool. And we have Disgraced Brawler as well. 7 for 5, so another bronze. It's worth noting, another bronze unit. And when damaging a warrior of Skellige, be careful, some will go berserk when reaching half health. That's pretty cool. I like the idea. Very, very, very thematic. That's the great thing as well. All these mechanics seem to be very, yeah, thematic. So basically, 7 for 5. Deploy Bloodthirst 3. Lock this unit. Berserk, destroy this unit. Wow, that's very cool card design, I think. So basically it's rewarding you big time for the Bloodthirst, but a lot of Bloodthirst. 3 enemy damage units. Quite hard to get. Not if you play Arnulf maybe in a later round or something, but quite a difficult condition to meet. And if you meet it, you basically get rid of its negative effect, which is that when it goes to presumably 4 or 3 health, it will kill itself. So pretty interesting, pretty cool. That's very nice design, I think. Is it 4 or 3? Who knows? Seems really nice, right? So like you don't even necessarily need to get the Bloodthirst, and it can still be very powerful if you know your opponent won't have the damage or whatever, or you're going for the Bloodthirst. And presumably this means there will be Berserk units which are gonna synergize really well with the self-wounding archetype, right? You damage your own guys, they go berserk and do crazy stuff. Very, very cool. I think that's the mechanic that self-wound probably needs to be good. And if you can double up on Bloodthirst, berserk, and just go crazy, your guys like, you know, damaging themselves, damaging the enemy, going, "Whoa!" Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. So I like that a lot. Very cool. Have I watched the promo video? I watched the teaser trailer. Is that the same one as at the top? Whatever. We're looking at the cards. I really love this. This card design is great so far. I'm sure they know that, which is why they're giving a bit of a... They're letting us see all the new mechanics in one go, I guess, right? So here we've got Salmon Semen, whatever. And it's a special, bronze, 4 provisions, damage a unit by 3, death blow, move adjacent units to the other row. Wow, okay. Seems like a pretty powerful movement card. So death blow, I assume is, yeah, there's no such problem that a good old explosion can't solve. Expect a lot of new cards with powerful death blow abilities triggered when its target dies. Very cool. So another sort of the opposite of Death Wish, I guess. If you kill your opponent's unit, something happens. That's a cool mechanic, I think. Just so great to see all these new keywords, and we're getting 100 cards, so hopefully they'll really use a lot of the keywords and make sure that they're fleshed out mechanics that are viable and whatnot. That is the hope, because it would be a shame to see stuff like Berserk and Bleed and all this new stuff not be playable at all, right? So what's going on here? It's a 3 for 4, but then you get to move an entire row effectively if you kill the unit. So it's like a pretty oh, it's adjacent units, not the entire row. Sorry. So you get to move 2 units, and it's a 3 for 4. So neutral card, spell, some bonuses to having those attributes. We'll see if that gets played. I doubt it would be. Maybe it would be played with Coral or something. Or if you're going heavy on movement, if Novellin gets nerfed, maybe. And that can be a thing you do with Scoia'tael or Lacerates or whatever it might be. But yeah, seems pretty, I guess, on the curve in terms of power level. Seems pretty fair. Cool. So that's pretty much it. They've basically shown off the new mechanics, I think, through these cuts. Some of them even have more than one keyword, and that is so cool. That is really, really cool. Like, I love that they're throwing Thrive and Poison and Damage onto a card. It's just like that complexity that the game needs, probably, instead of just a card being, okay, it's just points. You know? It's points, it's an engine, it's also destroying enemy units. Or this guy, he's a little bit of points, he's a little bit of immediate damage, he's a little bit of long-term damage, a bit of everything. And he's got synergy when you play him with another bonding unit. So he's kind of like an engine at the same time. And I mean, you can say the same about a lot of this stuff. Very cool new mechanics, right? I'm pretty hype. I think a lot of people will be, but that's the whole point of you know, this stuff. And I can't wait to see what else is coming, because this is a very good, definitely a lot to chew on from just a few cards that got shown here. Very cool. All right. Well, yeah.